Bandwidth for this podcast is brought to you by CacheFly at CACHEFLY.com.
Welcome to Mac Break Studio. I'm your host, Brian Gary, and I'm joined by, once again, my nephew, Josh Henry, who's branched out. He's got his own company now called Phoenix Solutions. You do a lot of repair and service work on both Macs and PCs. And Josh and I were talking the other day. Many people in the Final Cut Studio community have been a little bit reticent to move forward with installing Snow Leopard. But when you and I have been talking, you've kind of shown me a few things that actually might be worth at least creating a test environment. That even though they may not be directly involved with the Final Cut Studio apps, having some of the things that Snow Leopard brings to the table from just a post-production standpoint might be worth it.
Yeah, I think so. It was actually, I used you as an example of someone who's the stability of their edit suite is incredibly important to them, right, and had fear of any kind of instability brought on by Snow Leopard. And Snow Leopard has actually been great so far on all my machines, and it has a few little things that needs to be worked out here and there. But more specifically in terms of one of the things that's changed in Snow Leopard that the Final Cut Studio crowd might notice and might even have a problem with is what we're going to talk about today, and that's QuickTime, the new QuickTime. Right. Now, the new QuickTime interface, QuickTime Player X, I think is a beautiful new redesign. It looks really sharp. Mm-hmm. And let's actually bring up a new window here. We'll do a new movie recording. One of the cool things you can do in QuickTime X is you can actually create movies with your iSight camera or an attached USB camera the way you could only do before if you had another third-party program or actually in Photo Booth. You can also do screen capture recordings, which we're using it for right now, and you can actually bring up other QuickTime movies inside of the screen capture. Oh, okay. Now I've had QuickTime Pro for so long that I don't even remember QuickTime Player the way it was before. Right. Kind of do, but right. Anyone with Final Cut Studio the same way. If you have Final Cut Studio, you have QuickTime Pro. Mm-hmm. So if you had QuickTime Player before, the new QuickTime X is a complete win, because now you have some export options, you have some editing options, and you have some new features added. So from there to there, it's a total win. For example, if we have a movie, let's load something up real quick.
Now, while you're doing this,
sure.
For example, if you're going to install Final Cut Studio, you also need to have 762 or a later version or the earlier version of QuickTime as well as X. You can't just have QuickTime X, is that correct?
I'm actually getting to that.
Okay.
I think
I jumped the gun.
I think I know, yeah, come on. I think I know where you're going with that, and I'll get to that. Because one of the advantages of QuickTime in the editing environment,
sure,
and even in the encoding world, is that it's a simpler way to do simple tasks. And that if you have a piece of media and you're like, I want to cut the beginning and ending off, but I want to wait for for a Final Cut to launch and all that, mm-hmm, open up QuickTime, boom, boom, make a quick edit, and that's it.
Okay.
And then
it's like something you have here. Like this is the full, was it a full episode, or at least it looks like a segment. You got 7 minutes, 7.5 minutes.
Exactly. And one of the things you can do now in QuickTime X is if I want to export this for my iPhone, then I go to Share, iTunes, and I have these formats to choose from.
Oh, that is pretty cool. Yeah.
So, but the good and bad of it, I also have Mobile Me, Gallery, YouTube. So I have some nice kind of presets for certain devices. Yeah.
Fast and dirty.
Exactly. But and if that's the limit, if you're not Brian Gary and that's the limit of your encoding knowledge, then that's great, because that makes it really simple and easy. Mm-hmm. And in terms of editing, you'll see now on the edit screen, instead of all the options you had before, we just have trim. If you're an iPhone 3GS user, this looks really familiar. Right. This is actually the same edit bar that you have in the iPhone 3GS.
Oh yeah.
And you just drag your ends and you drag your ends. That was a great one. And then you make your clip, and that's it. But it's pretty much just a clean off the ends kind of edit.
Sure.
There's no real cut from the middle, paste over here.
But a good thing is, like, for example, oftentimes you'll have a clip like we do in Speed Freaks where you've got bars and tone, you got a slate, you got all this stuff at the beginning where maybe you want to just create a quick QuickTime clip that doesn't have any of that header information. So you can do that. Okay.
100%. And then you can just very quickly send it to an Apple TV format, in H.264 encode, so you can check it out. So that's well and good, and that's why I say it's a total win if you're coming from QuickTime Player. Now, if you're coming from QuickTime Pro, And let's say you do know your stuff, and you're used to those, especially on the encoding end and the exporting end.
Yeah.
Exactly. You see those export options aren't there anymore.
Okay.
And that's really all that you have are those 3 presets in the share menu. And a lot of those edit functions are gone. Even if you wanted to do the QuickTime movie here, the very dirty cut this and paste it into that, all that's gone.
Wow.
So the good news, though, is unlike remember when the new iMovie, I think iMovie 8 came out, and it was so different from iMovie HD that you had both after the install.
Right.
Kind of sort of what happened here, but not exactly.
Okay.
After you upgrade to Snow Leopard, you will see that, I'll leave that up there. After you upgrade to Snow Leopard, you'll see that QuickTime 7 is gone. Okay? And you'll only have QuickTime Player. The thing you can do is you pop your Snow Leopard disk back in. Let's pull up the window here. You go to Optional Installs.
Right.
Please hold. Well, it takes forever to read this disk.
It's this new spinning wheel of work.
Yeah. Optional Installs. And yada, yada, yada. Yeah, I agree to whatever Apple wants me to.
That's always a good. That's the Steve Martin policy. Just always click OK.
Yeah. Whatever Apple says you should do, just do that. And so then you have all your optional installs list. And you see right here, QuickTime 7. Right. In addition to iPod support, Rosetta, other things. But this QuickTime 7 option is not checked by default.
Okay.
So you actually have to make an effort to go back here and install it. So you check it, and I'm not going to do it because it's already installed on this machine. And then you continue to go through, and it's in there. Oddly enough, where do you think it puts QuickTime 7?
It's either, probably then, I guess, not in the applications. Maybe
Correct.
Utilities?
I bet you wake up every morning and you thank God for that big brain of yours, don't you? It is right there in your utilities folder. Because in a way, it's kind of more of a utility now than it is what it was before. Because now there's a select group of people, you guys, that are going to want that. So once you do that, let's jump over here, Utilities. And there it is.
Okay. And it just
the way you love and remember it.
Okay.
With the same options and everything as before. Pretty much the exact same thing. And now you can have both on your machine.
Josh, where can we learn more about you and follow you, what you're doing?
Well, my company's website, Phoenix Solutions, is phoenixsolutions.biz, and it's F-E-N-I-X, so not like the city at all. You could follow the company on Twitter. It's Phoenix_solutions. Facebook is facebook.com/Phoenix Solutions. So become a fan, and that kind of stuff. Yeah, and just I usually do a lot of Apple updates and just little things here and there. Yeah.
Good. Well, thanks for coming in.
My pleasure.
Always pleasure to see you, nephew Josh Henry, and I've been your host today for MacBreak Studio. My name is Brian Gary. Thanks for watching.